Let's see if you guys can see me here on the webcam. All right. Let's see. Let me share this link to. Let's see. Oh, that's sweet. That actually worked out pretty easily. And then, what's up, guys? Can you hear me okay, by the way? I want to make sure that my my audio settings let me. Yeah, baby oil is definitely made for babies. You know what's creepy? Look at this. I'm like talking as I feel like I'm in the Matrix or something. This is trippy. Or Inception. It's like a dream within a dream. If you hey, is anyone on Instagram Live? Look at how weird this is. I'm like seeing through multiple realities of myself. Awesome. Hey guys, let's see. All right. What we're trying to do here is I'm really trying to figure out how I can get, the YouTube's a priority, all right? So I gotta remember, I have a big screen here, but that's where the webcam is. So I'm trying to figure out if I can get the IG Live going at the same time as this. I don't know really where to put my phone because it's not staying, but worst comes to worst, we'll just do YouTube and then we'll figure it out. Hey, so those of you on the YouTube live stream, is this coming in okay? Like I have what about now? Is this audio sounding different? I'm putting on the Yeti mic so it comes in nice and clear. Let's see here. Did the audio change a little bit? What about now? The audio should be really clear if it's pulling from the correct mic. Let me just quickly check if there's a way. I wish you would let me choose like my mic. Can't figure it out. Okay. All right. Audio's good. I'm going to assume it's pulling from the right one. Give me 1 sec here. All right. So I spent like an hour or two putting together some good stuff for you guys. Prop the phone on its back against the screen facing you. Yeah, I can try. The new iPhone's so stupid with the this is like a weird double chin angle from below. I know, this is amateur. Amateur, I didn't prep for a phone holder. Let's see what I can do in the next 30 seconds. I'll find something for the phone. Until then, I'm gonna give you guys a sweet double chin view. Let's see. What could I do? What could I do? Maybe I can stuff it right behind the mic. And then, gotta ghetto rig it. All right, you know what? I'm gonna friggin' hold my phone. If you guys on Instagram, if it's getting too wavy, let me know. And then I'll just stick with the live stream. Cool. All right. So, come on, guys, YouTube. Be nice. Be sage mode. We haven't even gotten to the feisty stuff yet. I haven't even taken off my clothes yet. You guys, come on. You guys gotta zip tie. It's a good idea. I have one last idea. I'm gonna literally put it in a wine glass. Watch this. I'm gonna put it in a measuring cup and see if it works. I love ghetto rigging stuff. All right. Does that work? Is that cool? Let me know on Instagram. All right. All right. Yo, this has got some weird angles. All right. Is it good? Instagram, give me a thumbs up. It's literally my phone is in a measuring cup. Awesome. Perfect. Wine glass. Let's do it. All right, guys. So, you guys ready to start? I got some good stuff. I'll probably, Patty, hold up till the end because I'm going to do the Q&A totally at the end because I put together a lot of good stuff for you guys. I don't want to go into all the questions and stuff yet. I would much rather let's just get started and then I can go through all the stuff that'll help you and you still have questions after, then we can just do the Q&A. All right? So let's do it. We'll jump in, and then let's get some good questions. If anything comes up, let me know. My phone may die. I have no idea. I'll take a picture of this setup after so I can show you guys how ghetto it is. It's so funny. But so far, everything's looking good. All right, let me pull up. I don't know if, I wish the YouTube live stream would let me actually show like a deck because it's so high school, but I actually put together some pretty sweet slides for you guys. What's up, Nancy? Okay, so let's do this. All right, so today, what I want to share tonight, actually, let's talk about, in particular, I want to focus on 5 daily rituals to help you guys make 2019 epic. So if you know my stuff, you know my spiel, I really am a big believer in habits and rituals as opposed to goal setting. Because if you do goal setting stuff, you have this goal, you want to improve your life, it's really complicated to actually figure out what you actually do, right? Because I can have a huge goal of building a business, of finding a person I want to be in love with, of all these big things, but it doesn't really share what you need to actually do to reach the goal. Like right now, if I wake up on Sunday morning, where do I take the first step to actually write a book? You know, it's a big endeavor. So I hope by the end of this, you guys will have some really crystal clear steps that you can implement. And I hope really I really want to smash through a lot of the stuff that's the belief stuff. All right. So I really want to help you guys get through what are the beliefs that end up holding you back from reaching your goals. So if anything comes up, let me know, and we will ghetto rig this and get it going. All right. So one of the things that I want you guys to think about first, as we're going into this new year, or actually we're 13 days in, right? The first thing I want you to think of is what direction you're going in. And when I say what direction you're going in, I want you to think in terms of when we go out in the morning, in the day, there's 1,000 little actions that we take. They're habits, some are conscious, some are not so conscious, but every little thing is either building you up in a direction or it's bringing you down in a direction. The problem is that often these things are happening so small that we can't actually tell which direction we're going in. And so for me, you know, how do I know if today is I'm making the choices aligned with losing 20 pounds and getting fit, with writing my book, with having a healthy relationship, with contributing to charity? How can I possibly know when something I do is so micro if it's in the right direction? For me, if you guys on YouTube saw my recent video where I mentioned the doomsday document, did you guys see that video? I know, Kim, it is weird. But have you guys, for those of you that watched the recent doomsday video, the one on, I think it was a depression video. Okay, good. So you know what I'm talking about when I said I put together this doomsday document. And next time when I do a live stream, I'll have to really show you how to share my screen so I can actually pull it up for you. That would be cool. But I really do have a doomsday document. It's called the Doomsday Document, The Secret to Success. And it really is all about if my life goes to hell, if my life shits the bed, so to speak, and my health is ruined, my relationship is ruined, I'm single, my business fails, I'm depressed, I feel like my life doesn't have purpose. I've put together all these habits in each one of those categories of life to remind myself during the best year of my life, these were the exact habits I was doing. And to me, why this is not to give myself so much credit, but why I think it was brilliant is because of the fact that if life goes to hell, unless we've put together something like that, we don't know what to do to get back on track, right? And for me, the point was to document my habits in the best year of my life in that domain. When I was the most fulfilled, what was I doing every day? When I was the fittest, what was I eating and thinking and how was I living every day? When I was in the best relationship, what were the things I was doing on a daily basis to make that a reality? So everything, yeah, my shirt will come off later, don't worry. But so for everything here, it's always about remembering in life the daily rituals that produce that amazing part of my life. So, sorry, I'm going back and forth looking at the questions. Heels on Holiday, you said there's other people waiting on two other videos. Uh-oh. Yeah, I didn't realize I was logged into my Chinese medicine channel, and I think I might have I think they might have the link to that one. Well, let me quickly post the link to this real quick one more time, and then I can get everyone here. Let's see. Give me 1 sec. I'll post it in the community tab, and I'll hope that they find it. One sec. All right, we'll see who gets that new link. And I guess we'll see what happens. I posted it back in the community tab, and I guess we'll see if people figure it out. If not, I messed up, and I'll get it right next time. We can do another one soon. But all right, well, we'll see. I guess, yeah, I was logged into my other channel, and I posted the wrong link, so maybe they'll check the chat box. All right, so coming back to the daily things, as we go through this, I want you to just think about what direction you're going in, and no matter what you leave, when we finish this, if you take away nothing, just put together your own doomsday document, thinking about what are the best, the categories of your life that are working the best right now. Write down all the habits so you have that in case you get off track. And if something is sucking a certain part of your life, write down the habits you're doing so you know what's not working. So that's number one. All right. So that's thinking about what direction you're going in. And I want to talk about a few mindset things that are concrete, okay? Like really, really, really specific. And when I say specific, I mean, I want you to think about why you procrastinate, if you are a procrastinator. Sorry, I'm trying to get this centered again for the IG people. So why we procrastinate, why we lie to ourselves. Like, for example, we feel sorry for ourselves, or we say, I deserve this XYZ, in other words, to be bad. Or we say, we feel like the battle will never end with our finances, with our weight, with dating messed up people. Just be very cognizant, be aware of these beliefs, because how are you actually going to change if you want to believe the same thing? Think about it. And then the idea of yo-yoing, because I thought about this a lot when it comes to weight loss, but yo-yoing is really common with our goals in general. Why do we stay on track for a while and then get off track later, right? We get closer and closer and then we lose motivation. The other thing I want you to think about is maybe one of the hardest, which is if you've continually been failing at reaching your goals, how do you overcome the belief that every time I try, I always fail? That's a really tough thing to overcome. So just think about that. All right. Now, let's talk about some of the problems with goal setting. Hey, FYI, am I speaking too fast for anyone that's not a native speaker? Nancy, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, Mohsin, this is the time to take out your notebook. Hey, Kimberly, what's up? I'm just going to say hi to everyone, check in. What's up? All right. Cool. So let's talk about some of the barriers to reaching your goals, okay? And this might be useful to write down if you're going to take notes or just things you want to think about. I think the biggest barrier that I see, we're going to go into a lot of them, probably the top 5. And I think the biggest barrier is that we think that people who are successful, who achieve their goals, think that you just have to grind it out. Like it's just about work ethic and nothing else. And honestly, that sounds like a hell of a lot of work, right? Like you think a YouTube channel, writing a book, finding love, getting fit, that sounds like a lot of work. And then it's pretty tough to actually take action when you're overwhelmed by the amount of work. So here's what I want you to think about. I want to talk about 3 long-term goals of mine, how I achieved them, and if it sounded like a lot of work to you. So number 1, I want to tell you about my book. Number 2, about getting into a relationship. And number 3, fitness. So for me, at this point, I have 5 books on Amazon. 2 are full-length books, meaning they're over 120,000 words. And for me, I could have approached the process of writing a book that so many millions of Americans and people want to do. I could have approached it as something that is a scary and a really big chore. Like, how the hell do you write a book? How do you write 120,000 words when writing an English essay was hard in high school? So you've probably heard me talk about this before, but I always turn the goal into a daily ritual. And I choose a smaller, easier daily ritual over a more complicated ritual. And in particular, for this one, it was purely about what could I actually do daily that would advance me towards the goal. And that ritual was write 500 to 1,000 words a day. So that ritual sometimes took 20 minutes. Sometimes I wrote 4,000 words a day. And so I went from write a book to what's the easiest, smallest ritual I can work on. And that happened to be 500 to 1,000 words. So does that sound like I was grinding it out and really like slogging through this awful process of goal achievement? Because for me, it wasn't awful. It wasn't that bad. So what about getting into a relationship, right? Like if you've never been in a good relationship or you've never been in a relationship long term, how do you get into a relationship? How could that possibly be a habit? Well, for example, if you're single, one of the things you could do is every day you go out, not like to a bar, not to a club, you just go somewhere either related to your habits, your hobbies, your goals, or somewhere where you might meet like-minded people. And all you do is you talk to one person of the opposite sex every day. Okay? So the idea is you're not like going out and being sketchy and asking out random people. You're just practicing your conversational skills. And guess what? At least one of those people, there may be a connection, and then maybe if you both feel it, one of you will follow up and a relationship is possible. So even the goal of getting into a relationship can be a tactical action step. It can really be a daily ritual or a daily habit. Now, doesn't that sound a hell of a lot easier than like swiping on Bumble or Tinder 300 times a day with random weirdos who probably are not even in a who don't even want to be in a relationship, right? So there's usually a way to think about an easier way that you can do something smaller that will also help you reach your goals. The last one I would say is about fitness. Now, I'm not like Mr. Bodybuilder, but I will say that I've pretty much maintained and improved my physique every year for about 5 to 10 years. And I'm about 30 pounds heavier than my natural body weight. So if you can imagine how skinny I am now, I'm naturally super thin. I mean, I was 17 and I weighed the heaviest I'd ever been, which is 115 pounds. That's like a female supermodel, okay? I was like a female supermodel weight. Now, now I'm closer to maybe about 170. I would say my ideal physique goal is probably about 10 pounds, 15 pounds heavier than this. So I'm about 3/4 of the way there. And I didn't show up expecting to gain 20 pounds in a year. I mean, at the start, I hoped that was possible. At the start, I was hoping there was a possibility of that actually happening, but I quickly learned that I was very misguided, and basically I got poor advice. I had unrealistic expectations. I didn't talk to anyone that had actually done something like this. So instead, I began with, what is one meal aligned with my goal of gaining 40 pounds, right? One meal aligned with that goal. And so what I chose was, you know what? For exactly my height, I'm 6'2", maybe taller now. So imagine 6'2", I was 115 pounds. That's like thinner than a female supermodel. I'll have to show you guys a picture. If you guys have signed up for the journaling e-course, like the email sequence, you get a picture of me before and after. It's kind of weird. So this process of, tiny. So this process of basically reinventing myself, I chose what's the one thing I can begin with that will be a core habit. So I chose one meal aligned with weight gain, okay? The two other meals were just normal, whatever I felt, whatever my appetite naturally was. So I chose one meal aligned with the goal of gaining, really the goal was just to keep gaining weight. But if I had to quantify it, it was about 40 pounds, okay? That's a lot of weight to gain. And so one meal a day, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make breakfast my meal where I'm going to focus. It's going to be a goal-aligned meal. So every day I would have 4 eggs and 2 pieces of toast with the butter for breakfast. And then that was The other 2 meals were normal. They were unconscious. They were just like what I naturally wanted to eat. And within about a year, I gained almost 10 pounds from doing that habit. And so I could have approached it with like I'm going to go to the gym 2 hours a day. I'm going to like hammer down all this food. I'm going to be really unhealthy just for like 3 years to gain the weight. It doesn't need to be this process that consumes your life to reach your goals. It should not be that process, okay? There's a way to do it that is much simpler and more concise. All right, any problems going forward? Hey, for those of you on YouTube, does this look level or is this kind of off? Let me know. I know it's a super weird angle, but I didn't have a good spot. The webcam is in a clip, so I had to put it on a tripod. Let me know, guys. Let me see if I can adjust. Yeah, there we go. Is that a little better? 1 sec. It's a good level? Okay. A little off. Hold up. Give me 1 second. Let me just adjust this. How's that? Good? That looks level. Cool. All right. Better? Good? Give me a yay or nay. Cool. Awesome. All right. Key life hack. If you're doing anything live or an interview or like interviewing for a job, podcast, stand up. It's like a double your energy thing. All right. Let's make sure that's still good. No, my head's cut off. Let's go into the second barrier I see a lot when I coach people. I don't even know what to set goals about. I don't even know what my goals are. There's 100 things about my life that need improving. Where do I even begin? Okay? Where do you begin? Now, one of the things I found very useful when I talked to someone was to think about all the domains of your life and not just to set goals in 1 or 2 aspects. So, and I'll give you the 5 domains of life that I think about the most. I think about money, love, health, contribution, and leisure. So if you're not sure where to begin with your goals, I want you to think about those 5 domains. And where do you begin from those 5 domains? The number 1 thing would be if something's really not working, if your health is really bad, if it's in crisis mode, gotta be number 1. If your finances are really bad, crisis mode, it's gotta be one of your top 3 goals. If something else is really not working, you're not that happy, you really wanna be in a relationship, thinking about what are my priorities because I have to, and then what are my priorities because they're the most exciting? I really need to work on them. So I would say you have money, love, health, contribution, leisure is the other one. Because if you're like me and you're prone to overworking, then actually, ironically, taking time off and relaxing and having fun may be the best thing you ever do to have your best year of your life. So I want you to think about that. So if you don't know what you want, start with these 5 categories. And then I want you to narrow it down to 3, okay? So reflecting on my own goals in my life right now this year, I wish I could, maybe I can make this a little fun and interactive. I'm wondering if there's anything private written. Let's do this. Let's see what happens. This is a little behind the scenes look for the Instagram people. I'm gonna show you. All right, I actually have my goals written on my bathroom mirror. So sorry, YouTubers. Sage Mode crew, I can't walk you to my bathroom because it'll mess up the setup, but check the Instagram, 1 sec. All right. So check this out. So I literally, see my goals in the mirror there? Sleep, debt, help people reach their goals, girlfriend, etc., no debt, graduation, business growth. So I actually keep my goals on the mirror there in the bathroom. 1 sec. All right, cool. So I actually have my goals on the bathroom mirror there, so I know exactly what to work on. For me right now, 1 is health, because I was just working too hard for too long, and it messed up my sleep, and I started to have some health problems. So my number 1 goal is health. Sleep 8 hours a night, 7 days a week. The second goal is related to revenue growth in my business. The third is related to fun and also with my girlfriend. So I want you to think about exactly the 3 things you're going to focus on for the coming year. Of those 5 Or maybe there's something else. Number one, prioritize what's really not working. Number two, prioritize two of those other things. Okay? So with money, the goal could be, I need to save more money. I want to earn more money. With love, the goal could be, I want to get into a relationship. I want to improve my relationship. With health, it could be weight loss, feeling better, conquering an illness, sleeping better, more peace of mind, less stress. Contribution could be, I'm going to help out my family with time or with money. I'm going to donate a certain percentage to my, I'm going to donate a certain percentage of my salary, my income to a charity. Okay? Or I'm going to use it to help my mom or my parents or whatever. Leisure, I'm going to take the weekends off from work. I'm going to work less than 60 hours. I'm going to actually take a vacation this year. I'm going to use my vacation days. I'm going to take time each night to not work at nights. And I'm going to instead go out to dinner with friends. Okay? Think about that. And then you've picked one of those three domains. And actually, you know what? I'll save this until later because we'll bring it back together and make it tactical. The third barrier is, how do I stick with my goals? All right. If this is you and you're like, motivation, discipline, how do I stick with my goals? If that's the number one thing stopping you, comment right there. All right. Comment on YouTube, comment on Instagram. Because this is something I hear a lot, motivation. And it's considered more of a soft skill because, I can't pinpoint motivation. I can't put it in a box. I can't, there's no way to coach motivation in one sense, but I'll explain how to get around it. So how do you stick with your goals? All right, let's talk about 3 or 4 tactics that I've used. So consistency, exactly, Lisa, 100%. So with consistency, don't worry, it's everyone. It's not just you. So with consistency, here are 4 things that I would say that will help you a lot, stay motivated, stay consistent, etc. Number 1, always turn your goals into habits. Because seeing a huge goal of, I want to retire, I want to fall in love, I want to lose 50 pounds, I want to build a 6-figure business, or just quit my job. Those are big goals that can take years. Turn those goals into daily habits. Daily habits are something you can easily do every day. You'll be way more motivated to get it done. Number 1. Number 2, make smaller, easier habits. This idea of just set huge goals, like I'm going to be a billionaire, that doesn't motivate anyone because that's, where do you begin? Like, what do you do? Where do you begin? You know what I mean? Like, how? Make the habit smaller. If I set a new goal and I can't do the full goal, I immediately cut the habit in half. If I can't do that, I cut it in half again. So for example, this year, one of the habits I've been working on is doing Qigong daily. Qigong is a Chinese form of where meditation meets exercise, and it's something that basically helps do both. So it improves circulation while also helping you calm down. I had a hard time doing the full form, which was over 30 minutes. So what I did was, for a month, I just did 5 minutes. There's one posture of standing where you just stand like this and you do this breathing. I just did that literally for a month. And then the next month, I did 10 minutes, and then now I'm doing 20 consistently. That's better than me saying, like, I did the 40-minute form once a week. That's not where the power is. The power in habits is in what you do daily, not what you do once in a while. Number 3, keep a weekly scoreboard, mastermind, or check-in. One of my secret weapons for 5 years, every single week, I've had my own mastermind where we do a 1-hour call and go over our goals, what's working, what's not working. If you guys don't have that already, you've got to get one. And just talk to friends, talk to people, talk to anyone else that you're really trying to work with that you want to reach goals together. It could be an online person. My first mastermind they were not in-person friends. They were just online people. And so I want you to just think about, where is the accountability coming from, right? Because if you're not, if you say you're going to work on your book 4 days a week and there's no punishment, there's no consequence on Thursday when you're supposed to get XYZ amount done, it's not going to happen. But if you have to get on a quick call with a friend and you're like, hey, Billy, I said I would work on the book, but it didn't happen. And then now you suddenly look stupid, right? So you need to have some kind of accountability in that sense, especially if you're doing it for yourself. Because the irony is humans are often more motivated to do things for other people than for themselves. Sad but true. The last thing is GoPro. I've had a kind of a personal study of what makes the best in the world the best in the world. I shared one of my favorite books this year, Anders Ericsson's, all his research on the 10,000 hour rule. And it's funny because I've never found that the feeling of motivation was strongly correlated with success. So many of the most successful people, they just don't talk about motivation because they know that it doesn't matter how you feel. You still have to get up and do the habit you said you would. Keep that in mind. That's what going pro means. All right. Where else are we? So, all right, 6:36. Let's get into the good stuff. Let's go into the habits now because I want to open up the Q&A. So let's talk about the actual core habits that I wanted to intro to you guys tonight. Any other questions, concerns, constipations before we move on? Let's see. What's up? All right. Cool. All right. So let's talk about these success habits that I learned studying the best, and also just from an anecdotal perspective, improving my own life. Okay. The first one, and this is a good time to take notes if you're taking notes, is the 3-3-1 rule. So when we talked about the goal setting categories, if your main issue is lack of clarity around what you're going to set goals around, 3 categories. Remember I talked about fulfillment, happiness, fitness, money, contribution. Pick 3 categories. Pick 3 habits, 1 for each category, and put them on 1 piece of paper. All right? Look, I literally have this right on my desk. You guys see this? This is my studying because I have a huge clinical exam coming up. On this is exactly that. I shot a video on this, the strategy, the something boxes productivity video that I shot. It has all of this stuff on it. It's exactly what are the habits I need to work on each day for that domain. So let's say you determine that this year I have to work on money, I have to work on fitness and love. Money. Maybe your one habit is you're going to set up an automatic transfer to save $100 a month, and that's your habit. Okay? The second thing is, let's say with fitness, your habit is going to be, I'm going to just cook breakfast every day. I can eat out the rest of the day. I can eat crap. I'm just going to make breakfast. And number 3, let's say you need to work on, you said love. So this time, I'm going to go out to 3 places at some point during the week. And if I see someone I may be interested in, I'm just going to talk to them. That's it. Those are 3 habits. You put that on a piece of paper. You review that every single day and watch the cool things that happen. And mostly you'll just be really clear on what you have to do. All right. Habit number 2. This is something I haven't shared that I'll have to shoot a video on, because I was reflecting on new material I could give you guys, and I think this is going to help quite a lot. Break the barriers to manifestation. Okay? The barriers to manifestation. So let's talk about that now. So one of my goals this year is to get, quote, hella rich and retire my mom. Now, to do that, I have to earn 5 times as much money as I'm earning now. That's a big move. That's a non-linear move. If I'm in the world of logic and intellect, like the mind comes in and it's like, how are you going to do that? But the how is not so important. Let's talk about, you start this belief like me, I want to get hella rich and retire my mom, okay? When you think of a goal like that, all these beliefs and barriers start to come up. Let's say you say, I want to be a millionaire. I want $1 million. Why is that not happening in your life already? What beliefs and fears might be coming up? 1, that must be really hard. Belief, write it down. 2, what happens if I get rich and have all this money, or I win the lottery and then all my relatives start asking me for money? All my friends start asking me for money. Scary. Put that down on paper. 3, what happens if I'm super rich and I'm still a YouTuber? Well, some people will think I just did it for money, or I'm so greedy, or I don't care about the quality of my content or impacting people. Scary. Put it down. 4, you set a huge goal, you're going to be thinking, how is this even possible? How the hell can I do this? It's a fear. Put it down. 5, what if you get super rich and you're like, what if I turn into somebody I don't even like? What if I become like some kind of asshole because I have all this money and I'm like, screw you to all these people, right? I don't want to think of myself as becoming mean because I suddenly get money. That's a fear. The thing is, if you don't vocalize these fears, there's a saying by Carl Jung that the things that are in our unconscious that we don't express or bring to the light of consciousness, to the conscious, will show up in our dreams and will show up and manifest in our lives anyway. So if you don't deal with these kind of fears and these belief structures, one thing that happens is the dream will not happen because this is lurking in my subconscious. What happens if I get rich and all my family and friends ask me for money? What happens if people think I did it for money? What happens if I change into someone I don't like? How is this possible? That is what's lurking in there. And imagine if your goal is, I want to be in love or in a great relationship. Imagine all the fears that may be coming up for that, right? You put that down and you're like, I'm unlovable. I've never had a good relationship. My parents were horrible role models, etc., etc. You got to get that all down on paper. Every fear, every barrier that could come up. The more you bring those to the light of your consciousness, the light of what is conscious, the easier it will be to reach your goals faster. Okay? Really, that's like brand new material I've never shared anywhere because this is something I'm testing out in my own life before I share it with you to see if it works. And it's crazy. It's genius. You have to understand these fears are what stop us from doing things and cause us to do certain things that are not aligned with our goals. Deep stuff. Okay. You see it a lot. The sad thing is you see it a lot in love where people self-sabotage because of beliefs they may not even be aware of. So I think if anything, relationships are the most important in life of any goal, people. And so that's something to get right. All right, success habit 3, take the smallest action you can do every day. For me, the most important thing is not what's the biggest, hardest thing I can do. It's what's the smallest, most consistent thing I can do. So let's say your goal is it's the new year and you want to lose 20 pounds. Your goal should overwhelmingly be what can I do every day right now? Let me see how long I can do this. Can I do this for 100 days? Can I cook one meal? Can I walk around the block before lunch? Can I do 5 minutes of meditation? Can I sleep an extra half hour? Those things that are the small things are what build the big things in your life. And so overwhelmingly, the people who win at their goals are the ones who are the most consistent. I mean, just look at the gyms. Maybe by mid-February, I go to yoga on Saturday or Sunday morning, 1 day a week. This January is like double the amount of people. I mean, every square foot is so packed. But I know most of those people will be gone in a month. And it's nice for me because I can spread out, but it sucks for them because presumably they did that because they needed a goal to reach. So don't think about the big thing. Think about the small thing you could do daily. Success habit 4 that I think is kind of cool. I talked about in my book, Milk the Pigeon. Act and live as if you are the chosen one. It's kind of crazy. Act and live as if you are the chosen one. You're Neo from the Matrix. Because think about it. If you live as if everything is conspiring in your favor, right? My friend Jackie and Justin, they coach people on flow. But it's the same overall idea that if you live as if you are the chosen one, you will approach your goals as if it's going to work out in your favor. And when you think like that, you will always act positively. So let's say your goal is you want to fall in love or be in a great relationship. And you're like, yeah, I just watched Alex's live stream. I'm so excited. Let's go approach random people in the coffee shop. And then the first girl you talk to or the first guy you talk to, just rejects you straight up. Just like, weirdo, leave me alone. If you feel like you're the chosen one, if you just pretend you're the chosen one, you're going to be like, it's okay. That wasn't not supposed to happen. I'm the chosen one. Something's going to work out. If you think you're the chosen one with money, despite all your setbacks, No matter the number of setbacks, you'll know you're going to win because you're the chosen one. If you're the chosen one in terms of getting fit, you're like, you know what? Things aren't working out right now, but I'm the chosen one. So of course I'm going to lose the 20 pounds. I'm Neo. It's crazy what happens if you just pretend you live for 100 days like you are chosen. Yeah, it's true. Delusional is, honestly, any successful person on one level was delusional. Because how can you possibly believe something that hasn't happened yet, right? Isn't faith delusional? But religious people with their faith, it's incredibly admirable. So on one level, there's definitely a line between delusion and faith. But try it. Just try it for 100 days. Try it. It doesn't mean you act pompous or, it doesn't mean you act like you're God so everybody should bow down. We're not talking about being a psychopath or sociopath, but just the idea that I'm the chosen one, I don't have to worry. Everything's working for me. That's really interesting if you try living like that. And the last thing, success habit 5, is going to be, sorry guys, for those of you on Instagram, I'm trying to respond to all the YouTube live stream comments. So if you're not on the YouTube one, go on YouTube because I'm gonna reply there. I'm not gonna reply on the IG live because there's just a lot going on with the setup here. So, success habit 5 that I think will really help you this new year is each week pick the same time and place to review your progress towards the goal. Okay? Yes, you guys are both Neo. Haroon and I can't see the picture because it's blocked by my cord. Pick the same time and place to review your goals. Okay? So I'll give an example when I wrote my books. So when I wrote Master the Day, I would go to the same coffee shop in the afternoon after I got off work. And then on Sunday afternoons at like 2 p.m. or so, I would go to the same place, get the same drink, sit in the same seat if it was available, and do the same ritual, which was writing my 1,000 words. And for me, I would sit down and I'd be like, how far do I have to go? What's working? What's not working? How can I improve? And I think this is so key, which is the reason I've had a mastermind for 5 years. 5 years! I've only missed a weekly call maybe 10 times in 5 years. Think about how much progress you can make in your life if you review each week. Because the average person reviews 1 day a year. And they're like, oh, my life sucks. I can't figure out why it's not working. I'm doing all the goal setting advice. And then they just review 1 day a year. And it's like, dude, if you review every day, 5 minutes, you're reviewing 365 times more than the average person. So think about how much faster you'll be able to improve and get towards your goal if you're reviewing that often. It's crazy. I see so many people that don't make progress because they do the same thing over and over. But more often than that, people don't do anything. We don't do anything, and then if we often do the same thing without reflection upon what has to be different. So that's something to think of. Okay? Now, let's see. Any other comments coming up before we go a little bit further? Actually, I'll open it up to questions now. If you guys have questions, I'm going to pull up my Evernote here because I saved some of your questions that you sent in. So let's see. Let me pull this out quick. Okay. Do I wear my headphones while in the coffee shop? Sometimes, yeah. I find that I just like playing a generic piano playlist or something. That helps. How do you measure results and progress for goals like relationships? Things that aren't leading to one big completion. So Vanessa, I think the big thing is in terms of love relationships, like intimate relationships, for me, the thing I track is how often I'm doing the other partner's love language. So if you know Gary Chapman, he wrote these books on the love languages. And so for example, for my girlfriend, she likes words of affirmation, physical touch, and one other thing. So I try to make sure I'm doing those as much as possible on a daily basis. Because to me, it definitely is more about the little things you do daily. And like you said, they're not leading to one big outcome. So that's what I focus on. Louisa says, do we stick to 3 habits because that's what's realistically most manageable? Yeah, basically. If you find yourself able to do more, then I would do it. But I find that for me, it's really smooth to be able to just focus on 3 goals, 3 habits, and then it's not overwhelming to do that day to day. What about our surroundings? We don't live in the same positions. Perhaps many of us cannot think positively. I think, Wilson, you bring up a great point, but you asked almost like a paradoxical question. What about our surroundings? Well, your surroundings are not your thoughts. You can protect your thoughts. It may take work, it may take discipline and effort, but look, success is honestly, at the start, it's a lonely road because you're living your life unlike the way most people live their lives, right? You're doing something differently, so most people are not going to understand you. And that's you have to protect that. You have to really protect yourself at the start where people may not understand you. I went through it for years. How to deal with failure or mistakes within a business. For me, the way I've dealt with failures is I do a 1-page, what worked, what did not work, what do I have to do going forward. If you feel like it was catastrophic and you need to take time off, take time off. Do the healing and the self-care that you need to do and then get back at it. For me, business is one long string of mistakes and failures. And when I realized that, I was more tolerant and accepting of that and realized that if I thought I was going to get it all right at first, I would be screwed because that's just not business for most successful people. Emily, interested in doing an interview on personal development and or typology? I'm not sure what typology is, but yeah, shoot me an email. Any opinion on NoFap, conserving vital energy? So it's interesting. I'll do a video on this at some point. In Chinese medicine, seminal retention is a really important concept. And for men, it really is seminal retention. And for women, it's usually considered not blood retention because they bleed whether or not they want to, unless they're athletes. But it's interesting that you have to just follow yourself, basically. See what works for you. I mean, what's interesting is that there's a lot of really famous physicians throughout Chinese medical history that talk about, if you're this age of a man, you should only ejaculate this many times a week. So, I mean, middle ground. Pick the middle ground. See what works best for you. Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. I'm glad that helped you. And yeah, Kirby, it's success at the start is a lonely road. I used to say that it is a lonely road, but I don't agree with that now because that was just a belief. But sometimes it is. Pedro says, would you say it's better to do the goals tracking in a place that's not home? Yes, definitely. Hang on one sec. So one sec, guys, let me post you something here. So I'm actually, tomorrow morning, I'm opening enrollment for my goal setting course. So for those of you that took the time to be here, I want to offer you something really cool, which is if you get the standard version of the program, let me see what we wanted to do. If you guys get the standard version of the program, I'll upgrade you to VIP for free. So I'm going to post a link here as we talk. You can look at it whenever you want. I'm going to post the link to this. Let's see, get upgraded to free. Expires at midnight. So just to be clear, you guys have to join by midnight. There's a link there. I'm going to leave it there. We're going to keep talking. I'm going to answer questions. But that link, bestyourgoalsetting.com/2019J, 2019J. That course is going to be opening publicly tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., but I just put a backdoor link for you guys there. So only if you've listened to this, if you join before midnight, basically, let's see, 7, in the next 5 hours, I'll upgrade you to VIP for free. So you buy the base program, I'll upgrade you to the one that's twice the price. So check that out when you get a chance, and I'll go through more questions now. Okay. Let's see, next question. Oscar, Any opinion on the red pill mindset? Rednecks, you might have to explain that to me. I'm not sure. Tell me what you're thinking when you think of red pill mindset. Any more video talking about your experience in China, Susanna? Not specifically. I haven't really specifically done any videos on China itself, but I've shared a lot of videos where I've recounted my experience, and I've shared what's worked, what's not worked. Basically, the things that it really made me think about in my life. That was one thing that I was doing that I've reflected on quite a lot. But if I think of one, I'll share it. Yomaru, good habits for getting enough sleep. Definitely. That's been my primary goal for about a year. So regarding sleep, to me, there's two big things. One is habits, and the second is mindsets. So if you're an insomniac, there's a lot of emotional, behavioral stuff we need to work on. For sleep habits, I've noticed it's basically a few things. Number one, not working too late, not working past 10 p.m. Number two, no electronics after 11. Number three, reading before bed only, just reading. Okay, if you sleep fine with Netflix or watching a show, that's fine. But overwhelmingly, those three things by itself have helped me dramatically. And if you find you have any kind of anxiety associated with sleep, then you need to really do a lot of the belief work we talked about earlier. Does anyone use Headspace? I don't, but I've seen it. It's really good. I've seen Headspace. It's amazing. So, really good bed. Oh, definitely, Kale. Definitely. A good bed is definitely a better investment than a faster computer. If sleeping is an issue for you, or if you don't feel well rested, you don't feel like you have enough energy, definitely. I just bought a $1,000 bed. So expensive, but it's worth it. What else? What other questions? Phantom. We'll see. Probably not, but that would be cool. But the case studies coming out of that course are awesome. That's why I wish I could figure out if YouTube would let me screen share, because I want to show you guys what some of the other students going through it have. Oh crap! How it's helped them. A quiet life. Okay, so here's an example. You said, I'm struggling as an artist. My goal is to get more clients for custom illustrations. So I had a coaching client once that was an artist, that was a painter, really talented drawer, sketcher. And he was talking about trying to figure out how to sell his art. So what we had him do was we actually had him create prints and then sell prints. And by selling, you sell the original for what, like a couple $100 to $1,000, and he would sell prints for $50 to $100. And he would go to local cafes and ask if he could hang them. It was like free art basically for the cafe. And we sold about over $2,000 of art that way. So that's one idea. How to create discipline in regard to overspending money. For me, the discipline in regard to overspending money, one thing I would do is I would just track for the time being. Like, I would not, I think budgets are complicated because they work and they don't work. I would just for 30 days track what you spend your money on. That's it. Don't try to change your habits. Just like what I recommend for food. Just track for 30 days and see where your money's actually going. And then maybe that insight will help you change a little bit. How do I stop having bursts of motivation, retain it throughout the time I need to? So, Kirti, we talked about it a little bit earlier, and I think the biggest thing for motivation is you need to see if maybe the goal you're setting, the habit, is too big. Maybe you're doing it when you don't have your most energy, so schedule the habit when you feel the best during the day. And then make sure this is a goal that's actually something really important to you. Figure out, like, where is the necessity? In other words, like in Brendan Burchard's book, I think it's the recent one, High Performance Habits, he talks about talking to a runner, an Olympian. And he's like, the runner that's going to win is the one that sits down and is like, I got to do this for my mom. So what is the necessity? Why do you have to win this, reach this goal? Think about that. How do you reinvent yourself? I feel afraid to be myself and afraid to speak my mind in front of people. I get anxiety in social situations. All right. How do you reinvent yourself? So, Allison, the first thing I would do, all right, let's see what's happening. I think my phone's going to die in about 1 minute. Hang on 1 sec. Oh no, I'm just reaching the limit for the Instagram live. So I'm going to end, hold up 1 sec. I'm going to end IG because that's, okay, good. Now we can focus here. Okay, so how do you reinvent yourself? So you're talking about like social anxiety a bit. I would take the time to go through that emotional exercise I talked about, where you brain dump every emotion, every worst case scenario. Why are you afraid to share your emotions? Why are you afraid to share your opinion? Right? Why are you afraid to speak your mind? Put every one of those on a piece of paper and then just generate that habit of reflection on why that is. Start with that. I'm having problems writing my thesis for university. I haven't spoken to my tutor in a while. Do you have any advice? Highest fallacy, I would say, you know, why? Hang on 1 sec. I gotta find your question. Okay. Why are you having problems writing your thesis? We got to start with that. Why do you think? And you say you haven't spoken to your tutor. Like, where is the resistance coming from? You have to give me that first, and then I can give an answer. Retnex, how many calories do I eat a day? I have no idea. I don't track. Maybe like 1,800. That's probably my normal appetite. I have pretty low appetite. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people giving really good suggestions on social anxiety. All right. Let's see here. Any other questions, guys? I'm going to keep going. Here's the link for those of you that showed up late. So for those of you guys that just showed up, that link, if you join the goal setting course, it's going to be live publicly tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. But if you join that, I'll upgrade you to VIP for free, which is, I think it saves you almost $100. So it's only for the people that showed up for this. That expires at midnight. So I have to see that you enrolled before midnight, 5 hours. I'm going to go through some questions here for the last 10 minutes because I think some of these were good questions. How do you find balance among different areas of your life, like time for work, family, and other projects? I think for me, the way I do it, number one, I do less than most people. Even though I'm like globally, if you look at my life, I'm doing a lot. But the way I think about my life is just like those of you that are on Instagram, I walked you to my bathroom back there and I showed you that my goals are written on my mirror. And that's how I keep the focus on just the 3 domains of life, 3 habits for the 3 goals, and in one place where I can see them. That's how I stay focused with so many different things. Annette asks, how to organize content, creating time, and sticking to that time. So for me, I'm a big believer in, if you're like building a content business like this, YouTuber, you're a writer, blogger, you pick one day a week that works best, as early in the day as possible. The day before, you prep the content, and the day of, that's when you create the content. And to bulk batch do it for the week. So the way our workflow works is Tuesday morning, we shoot videos for the week. Videographer comes over, and then videographer comes over. We shoot all the B-roll. We transfer all the information off to her, and then I follow up with her Wednesday night. I need the video for Thursday morning. By Saturday night, I need the video for Sunday morning. So this week is an example where I missed that deadline. The video was submitted to me today, but it was too late, so it's going to go live tomorrow morning. That's how we do our workflow. Louisa says, when you assess your fears and have, you bring them to light, what next? So Louisa, one thing I've noticed is that just bringing your fears to light sometimes will solve the problem. Like if I'm like, I don't want to be single, I want to have a girlfriend, but I'm afraid of approaching women. Sometimes just saying I'm afraid of approaching women will solve the problem, and you'll naturally do it. But then sometimes it won't. And then you have to dare yourself to have little bets. So a little bit on my story, when I was in my early 20s, I was super shy. I never spoke, and I was always single. So I was like, I never had a girlfriend, never had a long-term girlfriend. And so what I did for a whole year was 3 times a week, that day, if I saw a girl that intrigued me, I would have to talk to her. As nervous, as sweaty as I was, I would force myself to do that. So in your case, maybe you have to do a little bet like that. Maybe for you, if it's social anxiety or something, or doing some other goal, maybe you have to dare yourself to make a tiny bet, these little bets. And within a year, you'll be a totally different person in a good way. Coco, yeah, I'll make this video live after. All right, guys, a few more questions. I'm running out of, I'm losing my voice, and I need to get some dinner. How do I, Yidigar, yeah, Yidigar, you can email me. Here, I'll send a link. So this is if you guys are interested in coaching this year. I don't really do long-term coaching much more. Yeah, is this thing support at? I wonder why this thing is not posting. So yeah, if you email me at support@modernhealthmonk.com, I do one-on-one consulting that way. Mohammed says, been preparing for an exam, but I still feel underprepared. So Mohammed, I would just tell yourself, you could reflect on the fact that you feel like you've been doing the work, but you feel underprepared. I would just, kind of have a conversation with yourself and be like, I know I just feel nervous. I know I just feel anxiety. Because if you know you're doing the work every day, when you step in the arena and you have that exam, then of course you'll feel nervous, but you'll feel like you did everything you could have done. Luke says, how do you define the difference between motivation and inspiration? Is positive thinking overrated and misunderstood, or should we be looking for deeper meaning in our lives? Motivation and inspiration. I don't think I make a difference between the two, but I think the thing is that both of them are feelings, right? That's the big thing. Both of them are feelings, and therefore you can't really rely on those things to reach your goals because feelings are fleeting. And if today you have to write 100 words in your book, you have to write 100 words. If today you need to work out, you have to work out. If today you need to treat your partner well you're dating, you have to treat them well, or else it's consequences. So I don't really make a differentiation between the two. I would just say positive thinking is, it's important, very important. Like if you show up with a good attitude, that's the foundation of success. But it's not the whole picture if you don't take any action. All right, guys, a few more questions. T5, my body always feels like it's breaking down from track practice. I always overthink when getting hurt. I don't want to take time off. Athletes are some of the hardest people to coach because they don't want to take the time off. I would say, super simple, reflect on what you need to heal and then ask yourself why you're not doing it. That's it. Thank you, Adien Blanco. Appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. Let's see. I'm taking this course in campus, but I'm just not good at it, and I want to change to something else. But since only 2 years more to go with the first one, my parents are insisting I finish it. So Betsu, I personally applied to transfer universities my second year, but I decided just to stick with it and finish it. I would say for you, maybe there's a way where you can just continue with your career, and then in the hours outside of class, you can do more of what you're passionate about. But I know that university is a tough topic. My little brother is actually going through this stuff too, so it's not easy. Aiden, you said, I have a big issue. I set goals but get distracted. Let me know what is distracting you and what are you overthinking about? Yeah, I know. The fear of failure and feeling like your career that you're doing in university may not be your passion. That's a tough thing. I think a lot of us go through it. I started off in like the environmental science major, and then I moved to more half biology, half environmental science. And now I'm studying Chinese medicine, doing a doctorate, a medical degree. So who knows? I think the most important thing is you work hard. You're always consciously thinking about, is this what I really want? And you're always trying to do your best. How to dominate in a business that's overpopulated like music. Tori, I would say the big thing is you have to be more creative. If you ironically, I mean, it's a creative industry, but there's a great book by Edward de Bono called Lateral Thinking. And he talks about, we have this, we have, what does he call it? Vertical thinking, we have horizontal thinking. Horizontal thinking is where you do something totally different, outlandish. And I would say for the music industry, an obvious thing is putting your music on the internet, right? Upload one YouTube video per week of your music. That's what I would do. I have a lot of friends in LA, and it is shocking how many wannabe actors and musicians are not doing that. Your stand on how movies and TV shows make us insecure. I think, trying to see your name, Vaibhav, I think the biggest thing is just to understand that they're not reality, right? And movies generate desire in us. When I watch a movie, I feel I want the hot girl. When I see a movie, I'm like, I need to be fitter. When I see a movie, I'm like, I need to be richer. I need a bigger house. I want to be popping bottles of champagne around sexy women all the time, right? Just observe the mind that, okay, I understand that I was fine 5 minutes ago. Now that I watch this movie, I feel like crap. Just observe that. Waking up at 4 a.m., Michael Kemp. My opinion is it's not when you wake up, it's what you do while you're awake. So if 4 a.m. works for you, do it. Bijou, NoFap, we talked about it already. All right, Vic. Last question, guys. T5, cold showers. I think it's a really good health practice. Really great way to get circulation going, stimulate your immune system. Maybe you could even just integrate it last 30 seconds in the morning. But I have one of my mentors that really swears by them. All right, guys. It's dinner time for me. You can email me if you have any more questions. Again, I'm going to post a link there one more time. So this link is for my best year goal setting course. It's all my best material, a 5-week program on how to figure out what goals to set, stay consistent, build these key rituals to build an incredible life, and tons more in there. So if that interests you, just click that link and read that. Again, for the people that showed up late, if you buy it before midnight, the next 5 hours, I'll upgrade you to VIP level for free. So it's like an $90 savings. So if that resonates, join me there. And if not, it's going to be live tomorrow morning for public enrollment for 1 week. But the bonus will be gone. That's just for you guys for taking the time here. So I hope that helped. And if you guys have any other questions, hit me up. You can email me because that'll give me more material for my next videos. And otherwise, if you run into any issues, let me know. This is the first one, so the next one's going to be a lot smoother, and I'll have a better setup, and I'll get the link correct this time. So, all right, guys. Video every day on everyday Chinese medicine, like habits or something, Robert? Thank you, Simple Etiquette. Thanks, guys. I hope that helped you. Let me know what's up. Have an awesome week, and I will talk to you guys soon. And I'm gonna try to keep this live. The replay is gonna be on Instagram for 24 hours. So I'll have that live, and then I'm gonna make sure I'll try to turn this into a video too.